Right, I'm just here now, back in corrals. We have got a pen of calves that have got what we call coccidiosis, which is it's a disease that's caused by a parasite basically, and it affects, or it affects the intestines in the calf, which then in turn makes them sick, and you end up with calves diarrheaing and running, and it's mainly caused because of that there. Moisture. So we only really get it in the winters here, because like now it's 21 degrees and not a lot drying out, so we get a lot of moist areas, so the baby calves tend to get problems with it. So we're just going to push this group of calves out now, and we'll give them some medicine to hopefully make them better.
You put mobile after send?
No, computer, then send. Iowa. If I put this on my phone, my phone karban. Baladia. Oh, it's okay. Go on. Go on, girls. See, you will come back. Go on, get up. Go on, girls. Go on, you two.
Huh?
Go.
This is right tomorrow, boss?
Huh?
This was right tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, go on, girls. So yeah, so that's that. We've done, it is literally, it's just 60 mils of what we call Cox and Clocks, which is an antibiotic that will kill the parasite. We have to do it for 4 days because the egg cycle of the parasite is 4 days. So we just need to make sure that we kill the eggs. So when they're freshly laid. So what you might see is you might find that we still see symptoms of it for another 4 days, but eventually we'll knock the whole parasite out because we've killed the young eggs. Because it only lives, I think, for a day, 24 hours, I think. So yeah, so that's that. So we get them out another, what day is it today? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So Wednesday will be the last dose, and then this pen should be fine. We've had to do a couple of pens this year, especially the younger ones. So yeah, so I'll lock these away, and then that's another job done today. Right, I'm not sure whether this will be before or after the footage of us all in the crush over there. Basically, what we're doing, or what we're going to do, whichever way around, is when we have a sick calf, we obviously separate it from the rest of its pen, and we bring it to this crush to treat, and it lives in this pen here. So while it's being treated and whilst it's sick, it lives in this, what we call hospital pen, or 306. Then once it's fit and well again, just so that we can monitor it for a bit longer, we then move it from that sick pen across to this pen, which is 406. All right, and then when we kind of get it's roughly about 100 calves in here. So once they've all been treated and they're fitting well again, we get 100 calves. We build this pen up to 100 calves basically, and then we do what we call back house. So we put maybe 60 calves back into their pens, roughly into their pens where they came from originally, because what we used to do was we used to finish treating them, and then we'd spend 2 hours a day putting 6 calves back in the exact same pens they came out of. So what this idea eliminates is precisely that. So, you know, 2 hours spent putting 6 calves back, or we can spend half an hour doing it this way, putting 60 calves back. So all I do is I go onto the computer and I find my 100 calves in this pen, and I sort them all by age. So I sort them all by age, and then from then on I can then look at what groups I have around the corrals, and I can match them to them groups by age. And then eventually I come up with this, which is a list. So I have 5 different pens, 5 different ages, and then I put them back into them random pens. So there's the calf numbers, because each calf has its own number, and then 217, 106, so on and so forth. They're the pen numbers that they go into. So yeah, so that's why we do it really. It just makes it a lot quicker, and it's a lot easier on the calves as well, and a lot easier on the lads, because as you can imagine, if you had to put one calf away all the way down the other end of there, that's a long way to walk just for one calf. Whereas if they're just putting like 10 calves back there, it's a lot easier. Hope you understand that. Hope I explained it right, and we'll speak to you later. Right, I'm just here now in Crush 2, which is would be 12 months on calves. I just wanted to show you one thing. The guys here are so good at picking up sick animals. That, like, all these in here, these are animals that are supposedly sick, or were showing a little bit of off colour. You know, they're good, very good. You know, this animal here, bearing in mind we've got about 12,000 animals in young stock at the minute, this one here is the worst looking one that we've got. She's the sickest one, and she is getting better. She had a very bad dose of pneumonia, and she's also lame because she fell over. But I just wanted to, you know, out of all them heifers, she's the roughest looking one here. You know, the lads do such a good job at keeping these animals well. You know, generally illness in our heifers here doesn't go much past the cold, you know, because they pick it up really quick. They're really good. I only came to look at this one because I knew about her, and they asked me to come and check her again, make sure that I thought she was alright. I think she's getting better. You know, her ears are peeking up a bit, and she's alert, and she's moving. And the biggest thing was she hurt her foot. She hadn't hurt her foot when she went down. I'd say she'd be a lot better now, but she just hurt that foot a little bit, which is a pain. But anyway, we'll see how she goes. Morning. It's Christmas Eve. It's Tuesday, Christmas Eve. There's not really much going on here today. We did all the big jobs yesterday, and we should be okay for anything big down until Boxing Day. Might have to do a few bits and pieces. But the one thing we did do this morning, going back to the issue that I had in these pens earlier on in the week, the coccidiosis, I've now put a gap pen in. And what I mean by a gap pen is I'm trying to stop it physically spreading because it's a parasite. So it took a bit of jiggling about further on up, because basically how we fill these corrals is we start at the top, we work all the way down, and then we go all the way back up again, and so on and so forth, all the way up to corral 18. See, I've put a stopgap here, so hopefully these heifers here in this pen, in this 217, hopefully, and I think I don't know yet, we'll have to see, they don't seem affected. If you look at their stools or their poos, there's nothing that's got scours in there. So basically I put the gap pen in, they're not drinking out the same water trough anymore, there's no heifers that can touch each other through the fences, and there's no way that feed can be passed from one pen to the other. So I'm hoping that I might not stop it completely, because at the end of the day it is a parasite, it spreads, but what I might do is I might slow it down, and I might only have 3 calves affected by it instead of having 50. So yeah, so that's the idea anyway, but we'll see whether it works or not. Coccidiosis is quite new to this farm, so it's only the second year they've had to deal with it, and I wasn't here last year in this department, but I've dealt with it before on other farms. So yeah, just trying to stop it spreading. Anyhow, speak to you soon. Morning everyone, Merry Christmas. It's yeah, it's a lovely morning out here in the desert, a lovely Christmas morning. It says it's 7 degrees, but it feels more like it's about -17. But anyway, speak to you in a bit. Hiya guys. Yeah, it's Boxing Day today. It's dark. It's not morning dark, it's evening dark. Basically I just haven't done a lot today, so there hasn't been much to really talk about. So I'm just well, it's, what is it, 5:30 now, so I'm just going around all my medics pens just to see, make sure everything's all right, because 6 o'clock I'll be going in. So I just thought I would come up here and look at this heifer that I showed you a couple of days ago. She's got better. She's never going to make it into the milking herd, but I think what I'll do is I think we'll just put her in with the barren heifers, and we'll fatten her up, and she can go off and she can go put into dog food or something like that. So there she is by there. She might not look, well, she might not look better, she look the same, but she is better, her temperature's down and she's eating. So I think what we'll do is we'll just, like I say, put her in the barren pen, feed her on some refusals from the milking cows, and fatten her up and send her off to the factory. Yeah, so but anyway, this pen has seriously dropped in numbers. Like, that's all that's here now. There's not a lot of heifers in here now, so which is good. So it's the winter, so we don't really have that many health problems in the winter. We get a bit of pneumonia now, just because of the sudden temperature changes. Like in the mornings, through the night it might be 5 Celsius all the way through, and then During the day it'll shoot up to say 20 to 27. It was 27 here on Christmas Day. So yeah. But anyway, I just thought I'd give you a catch up there and just take something on Boxing Day. Tomorrow we shall be back to normal-ish, I would say. We haven't really got much planned this week, just because it's a quiet week. There's a lot of people away, and yeah, everybody is enjoying their holidays and Christmas time. So anyway, speak to you later. Bye. Hi guys, I'm just down in the calf house, which is another area that I kind of look after. It's a fairly large area. I think we got about 2,500 cows, 2,500 heifers, well, heifers and bull calves down here. So yeah, if you kind of look up there, there's 5 rows, 3 rows are heifers and 2 rows are bull calves. I'll go into that a bit more next week. I haven't really touched calf house, mainly because there's such a good lad down here managing it that I only come when there's a disaster. Well, I don't, I'm here, but I don't really have much to do with it because he runs it so well. He does such a good job. But anyway, I'm just down here because we've just finished an audit, and we've passed. I've got one little job I need to do, which I'll show you in a minute. But I was just stood by here, and I thought I'd show you these machines. These are what we call the Randalls. This is what we use for feeding the calves with. We've got 3. We've got 2 baby ones here. So these are the originals that were made by a company called Randall. They're very simple. Milk. Pour the milk in through the top there. They're 1,000 litres. The tank, yeah, 1,000 litres on this one, the tank is. And then basically drive up alongside the calf pen, and you just put the milk in the bucket with this. That little nozzle on the end there stops the milk from frothing. It just means that it's the calves, they're not drinking foam, otherwise you end up with bloat. This one here is a homemade jobby by the mechanics. It's all a bit different. The engine is the same engine, sat the same way, but it's not enclosed like everything else, which is a better job because they do tend to overheat them others. It's got a 1,500 litre tank on it for milk, so it is bigger. This one is hydrostatic drive as well, but it works on an electronic switch, so it's not as jolty as them. This one will build up to speed a lot slower, but a lot smoother, and that's mainly because we've got more milk on board, and having an electronic switch on it makes it easier for stopping as well. So they did explain it all to me, but to be quite honest with you, I don't really like the guy that built it, so I didn't listen to him. So and I know I probably shouldn't say that, but hey, he built it, so I made him feel good about it. Anyway, yeah, it works on the same principle. There's a nozzle sticking out the side. It's just that they had to build one bigger and better. Anyhow, I won't go on too long because, like I said, I'll do a proper video at calf house. Anyway, this is the only thing that they pulled us up on our audit. This drain cover was missing. I don't know if you can see it in this dark. This drain cover here is missing. That's easy. I'll get my main man Felix, the fabricator, to make us some more drain covers. Whilst we're on milk, I'll just take you up here. So this is where we mix all our milk for our calves. All our calves, apart from the bull calves are fed powdered milk. Bull calves are fed antibiotic milk, so milk that can't go into the human food chain. And if we haven't got enough of that, then they go on what we call Denka milk. It's a very, very cheap powdered milk, very cheap. So yeah, we mix the milk in here. We milk 1,000 litres at a time, and because obviously our Randalls are 1,000 litres, which is why we didn't need a 1,500 litre tank on the big Randall. But hey, can't tell them that. Yeah, so powder goes in, water goes in, we mix it up. We feed the milk at about 32 degrees. Otherwise, any colder and it becomes a bit of a shock to the calves. But anyway, you would feed it maybe about 37, 38 at home, I'd say, in the UK, but because of the heat that we have here, we can't have it too. Sorry, we can't have the water too hot because it heats up in the tanks, even though they are stainless. So, but anyway, that was just a quickie of all this. Yeah, all their mixing tanks that are joined by that pipe, and then we park the Randall here. That pipe goes in the top of it, pumps the water in, pumps the milk into it, and then we drive off to our lines up there. Yeah, and they're just 5 lines. I think it's about. I can't remember. I did measure it. I will measure it again and let you know next week. I've got a feeling it's about 1.2 miles, I think, from that end to that end. I think. I'll measure it all. I'll get my geo map out and measure it on there. Anyway, it is Friday. This is the last video. Hope you have a good weekend, and I will try and get this to you tomorrow. Bye bye.